Reading of the meeting's notice, please.
The Board of Directors of the School District of the City of Erie, PA will meet in regular session on Wednesday, May 16th, 2018, in the auditorium at East Middle School, 1001 Atkins Street, at 6 p.m. by request of the President, Frank Petrunger, Jr.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Alexandrovich. Here. Mr. Castillo.
Here.
Mr. Fabrizi.
Here.
Mrs. Feeney.
Here.
Mr. Harkins.
Here.
Mrs. McNair. Here. Mr. Spagel.
Here.
Mr. Titus.
Here.
Mr. Petrunger.
Here. Pledge allegiance led by Candace Kearns, 5th grade student from Jefferson Elementary School, introduced by Mr. Jeffrey Bohm. Principal, followed by a moment of silence for Connie Sturm. Retired teacher who passed away on April 19, 2018. Josephine Zukowski, retired custodian, passed away on April 21st, 2018. Alice Carlotti, retired food service manager, who passed away on April 25th, 2018. Ann Scapura DeMarco, retired teacher who passed away on April 28th, 2018. And Michael Dragoon, retired teacher's aide, passed away on May 9th, 2018. Mr. Baum.
Good evening, Mr. Polito, Ms. Sapersky, Erie School Board. I'm Jeff Bohm, principal of Jefferson Elementary, and it's my pleasure today to introduce you to Cadence Kearns. Cadence is in Mr. Monty's homeroom this year. She is 10 years old and in the 5th grade. She has one sister, Deja. She enjoys reading novels in class and interacting with peers and gym. Of course, who doesn't love gym? Her favorite subjects are reading and math. She is an above average straight A student. She enjoys dancing, and she was a junior Bayhawks dancer this past season, which her classmates got to see her dance when we went to the Bayhawks game this year. Her comments are shoot for the stars, and her plans are to be a famous dancer someday, which I know she will achieve.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We should have music playing so you could dance across the stage, huh? Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Secondly, but not least, you get to eat tonight. We have a pizza that's given to me so you can feed the family. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Peter Reed, mentor for First Robotics Team 291, Creativity and Action and Science teacher at Northwest PA Collegiate Academy. Mr. Reed will introduce representatives from the First Robotics Team 291, Creativity and Action.
Good evening. The reason the team is here today is to thank you for your support.
I have one of the student speakers. They're going to come up and give more details about our year this year. But without your support, we could not function, let alone get as far as we did this year. I have students that will be coming up and offering you judges' books, which are our books that we give to the judges that judge us for different awards, and it basically gives you the rundown of our history and what we actually do in the community. If you do not feel like you have to take one, if you don't want one, just deny, say, please, I don't need one. We would greatly appreciate it. I would like to introduce Jonah as our student speaker then. Thank you.
So this year, we've been able to achieve 50 community outreach events in order to further inspire the people around us as well as educate our fellow students. In addition to this, by building a great robot in this build season, we made it to the World Championships in Detroit, where we made it to the playoffs in our division. And without your support, we could not have been able to do any of this. So I wanted to thank you for allowing us to do all that we do, because I enjoy it, our students enjoy it, and our community enjoys it as well. So truly, thank you.
School Board is very pleased this month to honor the Erie County Gaming Revenue Authority as our community supporter of Erie's Public Schools. EGRA has provided significant funding to the district for adult education, tech after-hours program at Erie High, and other grant programs over the past few years. This spring, the district requested additional funds from EGRA to support our strategic planning process and was awarded $30,000 for this purpose. We are extremely grateful for their support of this important project, their partnership as we develop and implement our strategic plan. I'd like to ask Mr. Tom Maggio, Grant Manager for EGRA, to come to the stage and accept this recognition. Now I'd like to give a certificate of appreciation to Ashley Spencer from Erie High for your service as student representative to the Board of Directors of Erie's Public Schools for April 2018 and May 2018. Come on down. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's short and sweet. I'd like to announce the board met in executive session on Wednesday, May 9, 2018, in conference room 3 of the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, from 6:50 p.m. to 7:33 p.m. regarding personnel matters. And this evening, Wednesday, May 16, 2018, in the library of East Middle School, from 5:29 p.m. to 5:55 p.m. regarding personnel matters. And now we'll move on to the report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The Erie High Art Department had a successful inaugural year that continues with the display of student artwork at the Blasco Library and PSEA headquarters in Harrisburg. Student artwork was also showcased at the annual Gertrude Barber Art Show, the PA Congressional Art Competition, the Presque Isle Art Show, and the first annual Erie High Art Show. Erie High students and staff also worked in collaboration with artists in residence Tom Ferraro and Ed Grout to create a mural that will be unveiled later this month in downtown Erie. Erie High held its first collegiate athletic signing day this week, where 15 students were recognized for their commitment to play college-level athletics at local, regional, and national universities. There are also a number of good things happening in our middle schools. All three held open house events yesterday to begin to welcome sixth grade families for next year. East Middle School also hosted a community career fair to help families connect with local job opportunities. And an artist in residency culminating event was held last week at East, where students showcased their performing and visual art projects that took place this year in partnership with Erie Arts and Culture and a number of local artists. We are grateful to UPMC Health Plan and Northwest Savings Bank for helping to fund this program. There are two more middle school culminating events scheduled this year. The Ice House event will be held on May 31st at Mercyhurst University, and our middle school musical on June 1st and 2nd. And where's that held at, Ms. Oberski?
That'll be at Strong Vincent.
Thank you. We also have two upcoming community events this month. The McKinley Community Fair will take place on May 17th from 4:30 to 6, and the district's Better Together event, which will feature information on our schools and updates for next year, will take place on May 24th at the Downtown Y from 5 to 7 o'clock. We are grateful to our district librarians and Director of Teaching and Learning, Diane Sutton, who helped the United Way of Erie County facilitate and sort over 15,000 donated books to be distributed to all our students at the elementary and middle school level. Congratulations are in order to the Collegiate Academy Academic Decathlon team who won the ASL Online National Championship earlier this month. And lastly, with the reconfiguration and fire at Erie High School, this school year was unlike any other year in district history. And I can't thank the students, staff, and community enough for all their help and support and really pulling together to make this a very successful year. As we shift our focus back to education, I am increasingly confident that we will see significant increases in our student success over the next few years, and I look forward to working with everyone to make that vision a reality. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Next, we'll have the Stair Climber Award, if Mr. Nixon can come up. Yeah.
My colleagues will go up front with us.
Good evening. My name is Ken Nixon. I'm Coordinator of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We started doing this Stair Climber, Stick-to-It Stair Climber Award to do every month at the board meetings. We did start this back in March, so we've done it. This is our third consecutive month. And just seeing the turnout from all the parents and the families seems to be a very productive and positive award. So the Stick-to-It Stair Climber Award goes to a student in one of our schools, well, each of our schools, that shows improvement in attendance, behavior, and classroom performance. And so how it happens is each of the schools take a vote across the school. So staff, principals, administrators, everyone does a vote and decides to pick one student per month. So this month, we're celebrating for May for our stair climbers. Before I go further, I definitely want to thank the school board, Ms. Zaberski, Mr. Polito, Daria Devlin, all the board secretary, and everybody else that has stepped forward and stepped up to help make this award possible. Because it's not about me, but it's about us as a family and as a team coming together and doing this collectively. I definitely want to thank all of the parents and all the families for coming out to support their students for tonight. One thing I would ask that as each stair climber comes up, definitely like to greet you, and then Mrs. Devlin would be handing you your plaque, which was made by our own pre-engineering lab at Erie High. I'd like to thank I'd like to thank Director Ms. Mikowski for all of her support, Mr. Biter, student Tobias, and Ariana for their help making the plaques. Students will also get a complimentary 2 Seawolf tickets so they can attend a Seawolf game as well. So without further ado, we'll get the award started. I'm going to start off with our high school students, work our way to middle school and then to elementary. What I ask is as each student comes up, the student themselves would just come up front, stand with the board. Parents and families, you guys can hold off. Once we're finished taking a full picture of all of the awardees, then we're going to ask that the parents and their student awardees head out to the lobby where we'll do an individual picture with either your building administrator or your family in the lobby. So we'll start off. We'll go with Erie High School 10th grader Chloe Thaler for her improvement in classroom performance. So Chloe, if you're here, come on up. Northwest Pennsylvania Collegiate Academy's Labrea Benag, 10th grade for classroom performance. East Middle School 6th grader Cristobal Becerra for improvement in classroom performance. Strong Vincent 7th grader Murtada Al-Saad for improvement in behavior. Wilson Middle School 8th grader Ngoyi Sinwanuke for improvement in behavior. Grover Cleveland 5th grader Omar Nuhau for improvement in attendance, behavior, and classroom performance. Joanna Connell, 2nd grader, for improvement in behavior and classroom performance, Brandon Spitznagel. Deal Elementary 4th grader for improvements in behavior, and classroom performance, Shamia Moore Snyder. That was Shamaya, so excuse me, I apologize. Edison 5th grader for improvement in attendance, behavior, and classroom performance, Jerica Delgado. Okay, sorry. And that's Jerica. Sorry, I would do better here, do better. I did use Google Translate, put the names in, so I did make an awesome. I don't want to bother the principals with last-minute phone calls for names, but. Harding Elementary 5th grader for improvement in attendance and classroom performance, Owen Carson. Jefferson Elementary kindergartner for improvements in behavior and classroom performance, Tyler Dembski. Lincoln Elementary 3rd grader for improvements in behavior and classroom performance, Daquan Hemphill. McKinley Elementary fourth grader for an improvements in attendance, behavior, and classroom performance, Jason Harris. Perry Elementary fourth grader for improvement in classroom performance, Abigail Kessel. Pfeiffer Burley fourth grader for improvements in attendance, behavior, and classroom performance, Kian Naliz Ortiz Sato. I actually practiced that one multiple times, just so, you know, for the record. It's a proud moment. I'd like to bring up Mr. Carner. We have a new program that is a branch of Erie High School called the Recovery Academy, which we've created this year to help our students excel. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mr. Carner for this award.
Members of the board, Mr. Polito and Mrs. Zabersky, thank you for your time. Mr. Nixon asked me to mention the student or award the student this award and to bring forward to you guys information about her phenomenal stair climbing event. This student came to us and was in need of credit retainment or credit recovery. While she was with us, she earned 21 classes. She passed 21 classes to obtain her graduation goal. She did so ahead of time, which wasn't necessarily our initial plan, but it provided her with that opportunity to work hard. She spent the entire day with us, which isn't our normal requirement. Normally we require them to spend some time with us and some time at home. This student decided to spend the entire day with us, utilizing the lab that's available to them in addition to the time in the classes. So she went above and beyond, and she really focused on her goal, which was graduation, and she achieved that goal. So without further ado, Ms. Dayajani Curlette.
That's a phenomenal thing, 21 classes. Let's give another round of applause, please, for our award winner. So again, thank you everybody for your support. Families, once the students are done taking their photo, I'll meet you in the lobby area where we'll do an individual with your school. So again, thank you everyone.
Ashley, are you going to volunteer to do this again? Huh?
Well, I'm graduating.
Run for the board. You can sit there permanently.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the superintendent's report, please? Bob. Motion by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Hearing of citizens. Persons desiring to speak for 5 minutes must submit their request in writing to the Secretary's office at least 1 week prior to the board meeting. All others may speak for 3 minutes. One 5-minute speaker, Mr. William McDonald, Erie, speaking to the topic of Erie School District business. Is Mr. McDonald here? I don't see him. 3-minute speakers, if there's any, please state your name and print your name and address on the tablet provided on the podium. Any 3-minute speakers? Not seeing any, we'll move on. Reports of any of the committees or liaisons?
Mr. President?
Go ahead, Darlene. Oh, you're right, go ahead.
I attended the Intermediate Unit Board meeting on April 25th of this past month. And through the efforts of school boards throughout the state of Pennsylvania, passing resolutions against Senate Bill 2, we were successfully able to have that legislation pulled back from committee, and as of, for now anyways, we do not have to worry about implications of Senate 2 bill and how it would affect our budget. Also, a sunscreen bill was passed that enables our staff in the schools, the school nurses, to be able to apply sunscreen to our students, field trips, outside in the playground. My understanding is that they're not allowed to use the aerosol sunscreens, but regular lotion-applied sunscreens. There's going to be, IU's hosting a superintendent summit soon, and they're also going to be providing us with SAS training December 9th through December 12th. Also, the IU was involved in supporting our Ice House project, and along with the innovation collaboration, and that will be presented, as Superintendent Polito said. That event will take place at Mercyhurst University on May 31st, and we are all invited to attend. They also talked briefly about the potential of some early intervention funding. Then there might be a crisis, and I need to get more information on that. That's my report.
Thank you, Ms. McNair.
Mr. Polito, Superintendent Brian. I feel like I'm at church. You got to make sure you say all the right, names. He did make a brief announcement about the Better Together, but I do want to read the official flyer. Better Together Workshop Series, which is a family involvement workshop series, and it's free and open to the public, will be held Thursday, May 24th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Downtown YMCA, 31 West 10th Street. Join Erie's Public Schools at the Downtown Y from 5 to 7 to learn about summer school programs, and school highlights for 2018-2019. We'll have information on all of our elementary, middle, and high schools, as well as a panel of district officials to answer your questions about academics, athletics, student registration, and student support services for next school year. You can enter to win prizes and receive a free Erie's Public Schools t-shirt just for attending. So hopefully we can get some people to come out, invite another family or another friend to be at the Downtown YMCA this Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m.
Thank you. No one else? Can I get a motion to accept?
Second.
By Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have no unfinished business. We'll move on to new business.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the new business and the supplemental, that being items 6 and 7 before us.
Motion by Mr. Harkins. Second by Linda. I don't want to butcher your name. Any discussion? Not, roll call, please.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Approval of the meeting minutes for April 18, 2018.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills and payroll.
Move we pay them.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Alexandrovich?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Report of the secretary.
Move we approve it.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Linda, I believe. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. We have no awards on bids. Any other matter anybody would like to discuss? Mr. Spiegel?
If I'm not wrong, this is our last meeting before the end of the school year, is this correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
I just know that my son, my 12-year-old son, is just antsy as can be. He'd much rather be playing baseball than finishing out, the term. But I'd like to thank certainly all the parents for putting up with the school year, all of us. It's coming to an end here, and there's been a lot of great work, particularly on the students, more than any other body, if you will. And I look forward to everybody having a safe and fun summer. So they come back and be recharged and little bit more next September.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I just want to reiterate what Mr. Spiegel was saying and what the superintendent said earlier about that this was a year that it was historical in the Erie School District, and the staff came together and did what had to be done to achieve what needed to be done. And I can't say enough about our staff and what they do when the pinch comes. They step up to bat. So I just wanted to thank everybody and hope everybody has a nice summer, and that's about it.
Mrs. Feeney?
I just wanted to mention that through the efforts of one of our teachers over at Northwest Collegiate Academy, Doreen Petrie, who's been working for the past 9 years, we now have gardens at all of our elementary schools. And two weeks ago, Master Gardeners went to all of the elementary schools and did lessons for the students in the 3rd grade on seed planting. Next week, they will be planting their seeds that have grown into plants outside in the gardens. And then this summer, we will have Master Gardeners at all of the elementary schools, helping to teach the parents and the children how to garden. And there will be produce in the gardens that can be collected or harvested and taken home for the students. It is our hope that maybe next year we'll be implementing some lessons into the classrooms where we actually teach the children how to make meals with the produce that is harvested from the gardens in the fall. So I just wanted to thank the Master Gardeners for their efforts, and I'm thrilled that we're able to do something along, that coordinates with summer school with the students this summer and provide them with some healthy food.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
May I, just for a
Absolutely.
moment? I just wanted to express my appreciation to all of the people, both in the administration, teachers, and some students, as well as directors who participated in the strategic planning sessions. They were very extensive, very involved, and it required a great commitment on all of the people who contributed to the basis by which we are going to move forward in our strategic planning. And that was a commitment that went far up and beyond, as it was a totally voluntary the organization was voluntary. And it required not only time spent at the sessions themselves that lasted 6+ hours at each one, but it also required home study, whereas the book that we were going through as a unit was about that thick. So there was quite a bit of information that everyone had to digest. And that commitment, I think, is something that I will always remember because it was, I believe, the beginning of the change that Erie School will adopt. And as we move forward, it's going to be to the absolute benefit of each and every student moving forward. So with that, I want to say thank you to all involved. It was a long, drawn session at times, but I see it as nothing but absolutely worthwhile. So with that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
And I'd like to wish, because Saturday, we actually have 3 board members that have the same birthday on Saturday, Mr. Fabrizi, Mr. Casilla, and Linda. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Casilla, second by Mrs. Feeney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.